Let me guess. You started the year with big plans, maybe a gym membership, a new routine, finally going to get consistent this time. And now it's mid January and you're already falling off. Here's what most people think: I just need more discipline. I need to try harder. But if trying harder worked, you wouldn't be here watching this. The problem isn't your effort. The problem is you're applying effort inside a dysregulated nervous system, and nobody told you that changes everything. So let's talk about what actually works. Not motivation, not willpower, structure. Most women don't fail because they lack effort. They fail because they're forcing a body that's stuck in survival mode to perform. And survival mode is quiet. You don't always know that you're in it. It looks like breathing shallow up in your chest, skipping meals because you're too busy, running on coffee and cortisol, exhausted but still pushing because that's just what you do. Your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode, and it feels normal now because you've been living like this for years. Here's what I wish someone had told me earlier: you're not broken. Your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do, adapting to chronic stress. The problem is the stress never stops, so your nervous system never gets a signal that it's safe to rest. You're just running on fumes constantly. And when you're in that state, effort becomes force, force becomes exhaustion, exhaustion becomes collapse. This isn't a character flaw, this is physiology. You can't discipline your way out of a dysregulated nervous system, but you can start to recognize the pattern. That's step one. So, what actually changes the pattern? You have to give your nervous system evidence that it's safe. And the fastest way to do that, your breath. Your breath is the only part of your automatic nervous system you can consciously control. When you change how you breathe, you literally signal your body to shift from stress response to rest response. I started doing box breathing. Breathe in for 4 counts: 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 2, 3, 4. 3 times a day, 5 minutes each. It sounds too simple, right? But watch what happens. My shoulders drop, my jaw unclenches. There's this moment where I'm actually exhaling tension I didn't know I was holding. Shallow chest breathing tells your body, we're in danger, stay alert. Deep belly breathing tells your body, we're safe, you can relax. And your body believes it. This isn't meditation, this isn't spiritual, this is nervous system regulation. You're training your body to recognize safety. That's the foundation everything else builds on. Here's what shifted for me. For years, I treated my body like a project, something to fix, to optimize, to control. The language I used was honestly violent. Attack those trouble spots, punish yourself with cardio, earn your food. And I wondered why I hated working out. I was approaching my body like an enemy, something that needed to be beaten into submission. But here's the thing: you can't hate yourself into a version of yourself you love. I'm going to say that again. You can't hate yourself into a version of yourself you love. So I started experimenting with different language. Not my body is a temple, that feels too abstract. Just my body deserves respect. I didn't believe it at first, but I said it anyway, because how we talk to ourselves matters. Our nervous systems are listening, and if every workout is framed as a punishment, your body learns that movement equals pain. No wonder consistency feels impossible. When I started treating my body with actual respect, asking what it needs instead of forcing what I think it should do, everything changed. How I move, how I eat, how I set boundaries with people. Respect creates partnership. Punishment creates resistance. This distinction changed everything for me. Control versus command. Control is fear-based, rigid rules, tracking everything obsessively, ignoring pain to hit some arbitrary goal, of forcing your body to comply. Control exhausts you. Command is different though. I made two lists: what I can actually control and what I can't. What I can control is how I talk to my body, what training I choose, when I rest, my boundaries with others. What I can't control is what other people think, beauty standards, my genetics, my past. This distinction is everything. I spent years trying to control things that weren't mine to control, trying to force my body into a certain shape, trying to control what other people thought of me, trying to change my bone structure through sheer willpower. I exhausted myself trying to control the uncontrollable. Now I'm learning actual body sovereignty, total command over what is mine, and the wisdom to let go of what isn't. Command asks, what does my body need today? And then actually listens to the answer. Command chooses hard workouts because I want to get stronger, not to punish myself for eating. Command knows the difference between pushing myself and hurting myself. That's the shift from force to presence. So here's the uncomfortable part: honest assessment. Not beating yourself up, not shame, just looking clearly at where you actually are right now. Because you can't transform what you won't look at. I took progress photos this week, just for me. I tested my baseline strength. I wrote down the truth about where I'm at, what feels strong, what feels weak, and what I've been avoiding. It was quite frankly uncomfortable, but discomfort is just information. It's not failure. There's this concept in transformation work: you have to break down before you can rebuild, like muscle fibers that tear before they grow back stronger. You can't skip this part. The caterpillar doesn't gradually become a butterfly. It completely dissolves first, turns into liquid, and then it reorganizes into something new. That in between phase, that's where most people quit. Because it's uncomfortable not knowing who you are anymore. You're not who you were, but you're not yet who you're becoming. But sitting with that discomfort, that's where the work is. Honest assessment isn't the same as self criticism. Self criticism says, you're weak and you should be ashamed. Honest assessment says, this is where I am. This is my starting point. Now I can begin. That reframe makes all the difference. So, what does this look like day to day? Because knowing this stuff doesn't change anything, you have to practice it. Here's what I set up: a morning body scan. So 10 minutes of just noticing, not fixing, just paying attention. Where am I holding tension? What does my body actually feel like today? Throughout the day, tracking sensations. When do I ignore hunger? When do I push through exhaustion? When am I bracing against something? Learning my body's signals again. Movement practice. 20 minutes of just exploring. Not working out yet, just moving and paying attention. What feels good? What feels stuck? What have I been avoiding? And an evening reflection. 5 minutes to ask, what did my body tell me today? What did I actually hear? And this is how you start. Not with some dramatic overhaul, not with punishment, not with perfection. You would start with attention, with curiosity, with small, consistent practice. That's it. So that's week 1, recognition and assessment. If you did this work, you did something most people won't do. You looked at survival mode and named it. You started regulating your breath. You shifted how you talk to your body. You figured out what you can actually control. And you honestly assessed where you're at. This is the foundation. This is the necessary breaking down that happens before you rebuild. And we're just starting. This is week 1 of a 24-week framework. Each week builds on the one before. Each phase matters. But here's the truth: If nothing changes, nothing changes. You can keep cycling through the same patterns, trying harder, burning out, starting over, or you can try a different structure, one that respects your nervous system, one that builds capacity instead of forcing compliance. That's why we created the embodied self. It's not motivation, it's not a workout plan, it's a nervous system aware framework for building strength from the inside out. 24 weeks, from survival mode to sovereignty, from disconnection to actually living in your body. If you're ready to stop cycling and start practicing, link is in the description. But whether you get the book or not, you've already begun. You've recognized something, you witnessed it, you started talking to your body differently, and that's everything. Next week, we go deeper. Until then, keep breathing, keep noticing, keep showing up. You're exactly where you need to be.